test for hip flexion, it's a really simple one, and it probably, again, like the others, looks a little bit easier than it is. So we're just going to stand. If your balance is iffy, you can hold onto a wall, because we want to take the balance element out of this altogether. It's not about how well you can balance. What we're going to do is we're going to stand on one leg, doesn't matter which, start on one side, make sure you're nice and balanced, and then you're going to draw the other leg up to your chest, up toward your chest, and if you can, you're actually going to hold that knee in. So pull it as far in as it'll go, and this is your range. If you can do this using your hands, this is how far your hip can flex. You're then just going to let go with your hands and see if you can hold it there. Again, we're going to film yourself from all angles doing this so you can see what sort of angle you've got. Test the other side. Oh, you can do that side.
I'll do the other side.
So we're going to lift it up, use the hands to pull it up. If your balance is off, I mean, you can even do this against a wall, because this is about your hip flexion rather than your balance. So this is what's happening. This is what you're using here to hold that up. So see what your flexion is. And like I said, really your flexion is how far you can pull that into your chest. So actually, if your hip flexion is up here, you've got that range. If you can't hold it, you just don't have the strength yet. Okay, so test your range on each side. And then a good exercise for this is seated on the floor. So you're going to sit down with your legs stretched out long. And again, if you find it really hard to sit up like this, you can sit up on something. So just get something to lift your hips up. If when you're sitting down, you're like this and you have to bend your knees and you can't hold yourself up, sit on something so you can actually hold yourself upright, because we want to be sitting nice and tall. We want the legs stretched out. You're going to feel this in your quads as you start to pull your toes back towards your shins, push your heels away. You're going to lift up through your torso, lift your chest. So there's a lot more going on here, but this is hip flexion as well. So for your hips to get stronger, to sit in this position comfortably for a couple of minutes is going to really help. You will need to constantly check yourself. You'll need to constantly make sure your legs are straight, make sure you're sitting up tall. So sitting in this position for a couple of minutes is a good way to start.
Even your breathing starts to come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure you can do, if you see his legs, I don't know if you can see, legs are shaking as well. That's the effort of it is quite a lot. And your muscles are working hard. So if you feel that you can sit in this position for a couple of minutes, maybe not comfortably, but you're okay there, you can start then to do some lifts with your legs. Don't start to do the lifts unless you can sit like this without collapsing or wobbling too much, okay? Because there's no point, you're not going to be strong enough here. So you can use your hands if you need to. You can put your fingers down wherever. And then you're just going to start to lift one leg, one heel off the floor and then the other. Keeping your legs straight, keeping your torso nice and tall.
Down before I lift the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, I got cramp.
Cramp is something that will happen when you do this kind of thing. It is quite intense. And again, you'll probably notice a difference on either side. Sit up tall.
I'm glad you find it funny.
It's funny. So you're just going to lift and hover. And if you can aim to build up, sometimes it's even hard just to lift your leg up. And if what you're doing is kind of throwing yourself up and it's flopping back down, stick to seated. Don't start to move until you can get to that point where you can lift up and hold and put it back down with control. We don't want to just be dropping the leg.
Why am I getting cramp?
It's because you're not used to doing this.
Okay.
Keep your torso lifted. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's a nice simple one. To progress it even further, you can start to move the leg out to the side, lift it over stuff. But again, that's a bit more advanced until you can actually do this without losing the integrity in your spine. Okay?
Cool.